Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is part 5 of What If Naruto Was a Stray Devil. If you guys enjoyed this what if, and want to see part 6 of it, comment down below and let me know. And go ahead and check out other what ifs in the channel. Before we start, please do support for more awesome content. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like, and also share this video with your friends. So let's start this video. Ollie looks down at Ravel's panting form, herself struggling to stay on her feet. It's been 7 months since Ravel has started living with them. In that time, they have traveled several times, most notably to the Sumerian pantheon. Those gods were actually happy someone came and visited them, as their pantheon has faded from relevance on grand-scale politics a long time ago. She wasn't so happy as Naruto ended up having sex with 2 different goddesses, Ishtar and Ereshkigal. It actually caused quite the controversy as they are bitter rivals. Ereshkigal, however, is much stronger, and so with a show of might, forced Ishtar to back off. Naruto, of course, wasn't aware this happened. He was aware, however, when Ereshkigal declared him king consort of the Sumerian underworld in front of everyone one night when she was drunk. Naruto and his 2 students quickly thanked them for their hospitality and ran. Ravel had to calm Volley down several times from trying to fight the goddesses he slept with. Even with her gaining strength, she isn't enough to take on goddesses yet. Come on you two. Let's see some better teamwork. Naruto stands there with a light sheen of sweat on his skin. They both pull themselves up and nod at each other. Over the past several months, the 2 of them have grown to become best friends. Neither of them have a secret from the other, including Ravel's feelings for Naruto. Flashback. Ollie lays down on her bed getting ready to sleep. Her sensei is in his bedroom with Freya. The silencing seals on his bedroom prevent her from hearing them fuck. It may be a little lewd, but if her sensei is going to have sex, she prefers to hear it and imagine herself getting fucked. A knock at her door interrupts her thoughts of sensei pounding her into submission. Scowling, she gets up and opens it, only to see Ravel wearing her pajamas. What? She says, a little irritated. Ravel ignores the tone in her voice as she knows it really isn't directed at her. Can we talk? I have to tell you something, Ravel states as she looks Volley in the eye. Volley nods her head and lets Ravel in. Volley struts back to her bed in lingerie as her well-developed body is looked on enviously by Ravel. What is it, Ravel? Volley asks. She doesn't mind her friend coming to talk to her at night, it's just that bitch is over trying to take her sensei away, and it puts her in a full mood. Especially since she can't hear them. Well, it's about Naruto sensei, Ravel says as she squirms a bit under the scrutinizing gaze of Volley. What about him? She says with a dangerous edge to her voice. Listen, I know Naruto sensei's is yours first. I get that. It's just I think I am falling for him too, Ravel says, giving her a soft smile. You are my friend, Volley. My closest if I am being honest. I don't want this to ruin our friendship. I talked about this a while ago with my Akasama. Can we share him? She pleads. Volley gets a little angered by the suggestion. Sure, sensei, he is hers. And her friend is asking her to share. Hatchling, don't let your greed get the better of you. You know that Naruto is powerful and they attract others. The idea that you will share him is pretty much guaranteed. At least your friend is coming to you and being upfront about her intentions and feelings. Albion advises her. Volley takes a deep breath as she thinks about Albion's words. Everything he said is true, but what if he doesn't love her back, but does love Ravel? What if he leaves her? I want you to promise me 2 things, that we will share him, no matter what, and that I get to be married to him first, Volley says seriously. Belief shines through Ravel's eyes as she grabs Volley's hand. Yes, I promise. I can easily do that. Even when Naruto-sensei gets his own peerage, I will let you be queen, Ravel says with a sincere tone. Sensei getting his own peerage? I am not sure that is going to happen. He abhors slavery, Volley scoffs. But if we join willingly, then it won't be slavery, right? And he can institute his own rules to make it nothing like that. Plus, this way we can live in the underworld, Ravel rambles on. That's a discussion for a later time, Ravel. Right now, we need to plot to get Freya away from Naruto, and to get rid of those damn silencing seals, Volley says with a scowl. You like to listen to Naruto-sensei fucking other women? Ravel says with her eyebrow raised and a hint of disbelief in her tone. Volley blushes as she didn't mean to voice that part out loud. Well, if he is having sex, I'd rather hear it, yeah. It turns me on. Is it that weird? She questions in a whisper. Well, not exactly. I mean, when I heard it that one time, so was I, Ravel admits with her face nearly combusting. Can you even be turned on, if you haven't hit puberty? Volley asks with a slight chuckle, but also in genuine curiosity. I promise. And my Akasama told me that she was a late bloomer, so I will probably be too, unlike you, Ravel says as she stares at Volley's body. It's not fair that she is only a year older, yet looks several. Still doesn't attract sensei's attention, Volley says with a pout. He isn't even fazed by her in her underwear. Since he knows you're only 14, that's probably how he is going to look at you, Ravel tells her. Volley sighs as that is probably the truth. Sensei is too much of a good guy. Well, thank you for accepting my feelings and sharing with me, Volley. I am going to go to bed now. I am glad to call you my best friend, Ravel says as she stands up and slightly bows to her. Don't mention it. Let's just work together to capture his heart, Volley says with a wave of her hand. Ravel smiles and walks out of her room. I am proud of you, hatchling. It is extremely hard for a dragon to part with any small part of their treasure, Albion praises her. It certainly is. Still, you told me Naruto is going to most likely have a harem. If so, I will be the alpha female and leader of it. It will also let me hoard as much of him as I can to myself, Volley says. Albion grunts his approval of the plan. Flashback end. Volley rushes him first, her taijutsu is way superior than Ravel's, and engages him in some fierce fight. She pulls out every trick she knows, but can't break through his defense. Still, it is keeping him occupied, as Ravel rushes him, trying to create an opening for Volley. Ravel starts throwing several punches and kicks, causing Naruto to rapidly give ground to the two of them to not allow a single strike to land. He still has an amused expression on his face. Ravel, frustrated by their inability to hit Naruto-sensei, throws a fireball at him, forgetting it is a taijutsu-only fight. Naruto barely dodges the close-range fireball, but it gives Volley a slight opening, and allows her to land a punch to his stomach. Naruto grins, but it promises pain to the two, and he quickly rushes and overwhelms them. Both end up on the ground in more pain than before. Alright, let's call it there. Ravel-chan, what reason did you have using magic in a taijutsu fight? Naruto questions her scarily. I just got frustrated and wanted to hit you, Ravel sheepishly says. Ravel still isn't very good at taijutsu, around mid-genin level. That's what starting from nothing, and not having a talent for it gets you. Plus, her body is so small that it makes it harder for her. Still, she throws everything she has at it in training, which would make a certain green spandex duo proud. Her real talent lies within her magic and strategic thinking. Good job, Naruto says, getting two incredulous looks. But sensei, you said it was just a taijutsu-only battle. Volley questions. What do I always tell you? Naruto says cheekily. Shinobi don't play fair, the two of them say with their eyes whitened. Exactly. Don't expect your enemies to. Use whatever you have to in order to win. Of course, that means I will start using my magic and jutsu, Naruto says with a grin. They both groan as those spars always leave them in the worst shape, especially Ravel, as Naruto doesn't pull any punches as he won't kill her, as long as she has magic power. Needless to say, Ravel's pain tolerance has shot through the roof. Sensei is a sadist, Volley complains as she heals some of her ribs. Here Volley, Ravel says as she tosses her a phoenix tear. Volley quickly downs it and she instantly is rejuvenated. Ravel takes her own and her magical reserves fill up. I still can't believe something like this exists, Naruto says as he watches them drink the tears before using it himself. It's like Sage of Six Paths chakra, but on steroids. Still, with Ravel making 3 vials of tears every day, each taking her about 15 minutes, they can get in another magic training session. Naruto feels like they were taking advantage of her, but Ravel insists on being helpful in doing it. As they are about to begin, a sudden rush of memories races through Naruto's mind and he grins. Change of plans, girls. We are going crow hunting. My clone in Frankfurt found a couple on the outskirts up to no good. One is 2-winged and the other is 4-winged. Ravel, this will be your first kill. Neither Volley nor I will help you, and remember to avoid the light attacks, as they can kill you, Naruto says seriously. Ravel nods her head, while her hands clench in nervousness. Naruto has been preparing her for it mentally for a couple months. Volley has also told her how her first kills happened. Sensei, that 4-winged angel is going to be too easy for me, Volley whines. She wants a good battle to test her skills, damn it. She needs at least a 6-winged fallen, which equates to a high-class level devil. The last few 4-winged ones were way too easy. This isn't for you, Volley-chan, it's for Ravel-chan. This is an easy mission to blot your green students. It happened in my world all the time, Naruto says. Volley pouts, but nods her head in understanding. Besides, she doesn't want anything to happen to her best friend either. Naruto creates a quick teleportation circle, and they find themselves outside a warehouse with a clone right next to him. The clone receives a mental command to guard the opposite side, while Naruto creates a magical barrier, preventing low-level fallen and devils from teleporting away, which also keeps the humans away. He also undoes the restriction seals, making them each feel like a mountain has been lifted off them. Okay. Go get them, girls. Naruto cheers as they sweat drop at his antics. They swear that sometimes they act older than him. Ravel immediately goes on guard, trying to sense where the fallen are. Unfortunately, she takes after her mother with her regards to sensing and is pitiful at it. Ollie, however, just calmly walks forward, heedless of any concern. Her slight arrogance, stemming from her brutal training and confidence in the weakness of her opponents, is something Naruto notices and takes note of in the future. He has been doing so well making her not into an Uchiha, not going to let her turn into one now. Crows. You can't run, so you might as well come out and face us. I already know where the two of you are, she yells out as she stands at the doorway of the warehouse, the darkness inside not a hindrance at all thanks to her devil genes. Several light spears are her response, which shatter when they hit her magic shield. Volley rolls her eyes at the pathetic display before she sends demonic arrows back, causing a Fallen to come out of hiding. TSK devils and pesky ones too. The four-winged Fallen scowls as he floats above them. Volley rolls her eyes in response. Yeah well, we are trying to get this one her first kill, and you so happen to be our targets. Pity for you, Volley says mockingly. She looks back at Ravel. Come on birdie. Sensei is watching, so let's get this done fast, she says. Ravel rolls her eyes at her nickname and steps up next to Volley. She finally senses where the other Fallen is and sends a fireball to her left, getting a yelp, and a woman comes out with anger in her eyes. Her voluptuous body that is scantily covered makes Ravel a little jealous. You little bitch. You just singed my wings. The woman shouts with hate in her eyes. Ravel can't help but raise an eyebrow at her voice. So? That's it. I am going to enjoy killing this prepubescent kid, she says as a green light spear forms in her hand. She races toward Ravel, who releases her own fire wings, and sends several small fireballs at her, testing her reactions. Gee Cecilia, always hasty to kill, the man shakes his head, while he looks at Volley, who has made no inclination to move. Aren't you going to attack me? He questions. Oh I am. Just wanted to ask you a question first. What do you want to die by? Your choices are fire, ice, lightning, and taijutsu, Volley says with a small smirk. The arrogance of you devils is really astounding, the man says with a sneer. He creates two light swords in his hands. I'll choose taijutsu, he says with a smirk. Volley smirks in response. That's always my favorite choice, she responds as she dashes at the Fallen. This is the best you can do. Cecilia laughs with fake bravado as she continues to barely dodge the fireballs launched at her. She can't get close to the girl, and the light spears she throws are merely dodged, blocked, or intercepted. Oh no. I was merely testing your reaction time, Ravel says as she seriously stares down her opponent. The fireballs sent at you were slightly faster each time until I could tell you were seriously struggling to dodge them, meaning you weren't hiding any of your speed. Naruto-sensei has me hitting much faster targets than you, Ravel says. She creates a large magic circle in front of her, and a fire dragon comes out and quickly rushes the Fallen. Cecilia looks on with wide eyes, as that is certainly much more powerful than anything she has been sending at her, and she desperately launches a dozen light spears at it, hoping to cause the dragon to explode. Unfortunately, the light spears all just shatter against it. She desperately throws herself out of the way, and glares at the young girl with murder. Ravel just stares at her with a small smirk, and it's the last thing Cecilia ever sees. The fire dragon had followed her, after she dodged and consumed her. Ravel looks around and sees Volley still battling the four-winged Fallen. Volley notices that Ravel has finished up her fight and sighs. I guess it is time for me to finish up this fight too, she says out loud as the Fallen across from her is breathing heavily with an arm broken, and a light spear in the other. Sorry for toying with you, but I was bored, Volley says as she then moves too fast for the Fallen to see. He lashes out wildly, hitting nothing but air, hears a faint chirping sound, and feels something pierce his chest. He looks down, and sees the girl's bloodied hand, where his heart should be. Volley pulls it out, and lets the Fallen fall to the floor dead. She then goes over to Ravel, who nods her head with the hardened face of Volley. Volley lands in front of her, and gives her a big hug. It was actually very easy to kill her, Ravel whispers as she hugs her best friend. Yes, it is, isn't it? Naruto says as he appears behind them both. It can be very easy to do, yet it is one of the hardest things to reconcile yourself with afterward. That's why you should never kill without a good reason. Protecting yourself, your precious people, an idea you believe in, and ridding the world of monsters are the best reasons. My clone found out that those two had killed and tortured humans for fun. They deserve no mercy, Naruto informs her, trying to get comfort or yet impart wisdom as well. I understand, Naruto-sensei. You have been preparing me for this for months, Ravel says with a nod and hugs him as well. I know, Ravel-chan, but I want to make sure you are okay with this. In the supernatural world, with monsters lurking around every corner, you have to be prepared to kill. Isn't that right? Naruto says sharply as he looks toward the door of the warehouse. Ollie and Ravel both snap their attention to where their sensei is looking, obviously noticing the tone in his voice. Around the corner, a man, no more than 20, appears in a butler uniform with a black trench coat over top it, and a large black dog beside him. Naruto narrows his eyes as he can tell that this man is dangerous. I shouldn't be surprised that you sense me. I was told you are very strong, the man says nonchalantly as he keeps his eyes on Naruto. Naruto meanwhile, deactivates his restriction seal as if it turns into a fight, he will go all out to protect his students. Well, I am flattered. What are you doing out here in this warehouse? It isn't exactly popular, Naruto asks intently, putting his students behind him. Volley and Ravel both Naruto signal them behind his back. Strong. Retreat. Fight. Naruto says with his hand. Both Volley and Ravel know this man is vastly out of their level, if Naruto wants them to retreat. I am here, if you need me, partner, Albion reassures Volley. Well, I was ordered to kill some fallen angels that were hiding out here. In fact, someone has been killing all the fallen angels and strays in Europe that I have been ordered to kill. It really was confusing me, but I guess it was you and your students. I suppose I should thank you, but you don't exactly have the authority to kill them, the man says challengingly, while the black dog growls. I don't exactly need authority to prevent atrocities from happening. Besides, my students needed life and death experiences in order to grow. Naruto responds calmly. Well, I don't have orders to kill you yet, and I have a feeling that if we fight there will be a lot of collateral damage to the area, so I am just going to go for tonight. See you around Uzumaki. Naruto, the man says as he walks away, the dog in tow. Naruto breathes a small sigh of relief at the crisis averted. He has complete confidence that he could kill that man, but with his students here he didn't want to fight. Sensei, who is that? Volley asks as she sees his shoulders slightly relax. I am not sure, Volley-chan, but he was strong. Human with a sacred gear too. Definitely above what either of you two could handle right now. I didn't want to fight him with the two of you here, as that could have made it a lot more complicated. Naruto says honestly. You would have won, right? Volley questions with a little urgency. I definitely would have won, Naruto says with a wink, getting her to relax. And here I thought something interesting was finally going to happen. Kurama grumbles. He woke up for nothing. I am sure something will happen soon, Naruto reassures his friend. Well, you two, we can worry about that later. Let's go home and get something to eat, Naruto says cheerfully, trying to lighten the mood. Both girls smile up at him and nod their heads. Both, however, are thinking the same thing. I don't want to be a hindrance to Naruto sensei again. The past month Naruto has noticed a marked difference in the way both of his students have been throwing themselves at their training with more determination ever since that man with the dog showed up. He hasn't done anything to correct them either, as he thinks it is honestly a good thing. They realize where they are in the food chain and it isn't that high. Those moments in his life helped him out dramatically. He watches as Ravel and Volley spar as they have been doing for several weeks now. It isn't a close contest, with Volley easily overpowering Ravel, but there have been several times where Ravel uses strategy to work Volley into a trap. Unfortunately, Volley can use brute force to get out of it, and she never falls for the same trick twice. Both are very intelligent, much more so than himself. Watching Ravel get knocked to the ground again in a taijutsu battle, Naruto says alright, that's enough. Volley stands down as Ravel shakily gets up. Naruto-sensei, cough cough, I can keep going, Ravel says. Ravel-chan, I know you are dedicated to getting stronger, but it's 11 o'clock at night. You both need your sleep. You're still growing after all, Naruto says. That gets them both to stand down as they definitely don't want to hinder that. It would only make winning their sensei's heart harder. Okay, Naruto-sensei. How did I look? She asks with her head cutely tilted. Her training clothes, which consists of a tight black shirt and an orange miniskirt, similar to what Ino had at the beginning, have been torn to shreds with her panties exposed along with her chest. She makes no move to cover herself in front of her sensei. It is one of the strategies her and Volley have concocted to try and get his attention. No effect yet. Better as always, Ravel-chan. I am shocked by the growth rate you two have. I really like the way you are manipulating your fire into shapes and using them for attacks, as it is much harder than simply throwing balls of fire. Your main weakness is still speed. Ollie is able to go fast enough where you can't hit her with accurate attacks, and rely on AoE attacks. Not a bad strategy, but you will wear out your magic fast that way. Try to think of something else. Your clan is also known for their wind affinity, right? Naruto says, getting Ravel's eyes to whiten slightly, and she nods. He then turns to Volley. Volley, your use of magic was superb in countering her own, and you avoided attacks to not waste magic blocking them. Good job. You did fall for another one of Ravel's strategies, however, so be a little more cautious, even when you outclass your opponent, Naruto comments. Volley grimaces as she yet again fell for her friend's trap. She is a smart little bird. Let's go bet, Naruto says, and they walk back to the house. He chuckles as Ravel jumps on his back again, wanting a piggyback ride. The first time she did it, he did get slightly flustered as her clothes were in a worse shape than now, but she said she didn't care. She was actually a bit red in the face too, but that was from all the training, or so he assumed. Naruto-sensei, Ravel says, her head leaning on his shoulder, can you show us that powerful wind attack you told me about? The rasenshuriken, or something like that. Oh? And why is that? Naruto asks curiously. Well, I guess I wanted to see if I could make it too. If that's okay, she says a little bit embarrassed. Naruto laughs out loud, surprising the both of them. I have always wanted to pass on my techniques, and who better to than my precious students. You may even be able to upgrade it like I did, Naruto says with a smile. He holds out his hand and in it appears a ball of swirling blue energy. Both of his students have seen him use this technique before and now the deadliness it holds. As you both know, this is the Rasengan. What I don't think I have told you is that it was created by my dad, who taught his teacher Iro-senin, who later taught me. It was extremely hard to learn, yet the most satisfying thing ever when I did. The look on Bot-chan's face was priceless. Now this is pure shape manipulation for chakra in its highest form. My dad and Iro-sen tried adding nature manipulation to it, but neither of them could. I did. It was the first jutsu that I made myself, if you don't count the sexy jutsu. Both of you take a couple steps back, as this is a one-head kill technique. Well, it was in my world, not too sure about this one, Naruto says with a fond grin. Both girls do as advised, Ravel with excitement and Volley with a smirk as she has seen it before. He adds wind to it, making it produce a loud screeching sound. He jumps up high, and chucks it at a tree 100 yards away. The attack takes less than a second to reach it. Ravel watches as it hits the tree, and expands into a huge sphere, easily 70 yards in diameter, everything in it being shredded into dust, not even the ground escaping. As it fades, Ravel turns to her sensei, silently asking what she saw. And that sphere was billions and billions of tiny wind blades. If an enemy is hit by it, every cell in their body will be sliced apart. I actually have bigger versions, a fire one, and I am close to a water one, but they aren't necessary to show off now, Naruto says as he pats Ravel's head. She is shocked at how amazing that attack is. Well, Naruto-sensei, I have my work cut out for me. Can I make the Rasengan even without chakra? Ravel asks and Naruto frowns. I actually have no idea if we can do it with devil magic. That's interesting. If so, I could potentially make an ice-style one fufufu. Naruto starts chuckling darkly. Volley hits him on the arm, to snap him out of it. Ahem. Naruto fake coughs, a little embarrassed by that outburst. I'll send a clone out for the supplies tomorrow morning, so we can train with it in the afternoon. That would be a great trump card to have if we can, Volley says with a nod. She definitely is determined to learn her sensei's jutsu. Speaking of trump cards, I think we should start training with your sacred gear soon. On your 15th birthday, Naruto says with a nod. Volley's eyes light up with excitement. Finally, training with her Longinus. You're so lucky you have something like that, Ravel says with a pout. Says the girl who is immortal. Volley shoots back, causing Ravel to blush. Speaking of birthdays, Naruto-sensei, isn't yours next month? Yup, October 10th I will be 19 years old. Honestly, I feel like I am so much older, Naruto says while rubbing the back of his head. Will you come celebrate it at the Phoenix Manor in the underworld? Ravel asks hopefully. She wants to show off her home to her sensei as well as Volley, while also seeing her family. Her mother has been begging her to come back and visit, so this will kill two birds with one stone. I don't know about that, Ravel-chan. I am not exactly welcome there, Naruto says with an awkward smile. Sensei, I think we should. It will be fun, and I am sure Ravel and her family will take the necessary steps to make sure things go fine, Volley says in support of Ravel. Ugh, fine. I guess it couldn't hurt, Naruto concedes, getting a happy smile from Ravel. Now let's seriously get to bed. I am exhausted. Hopefully tomorrow one of my clones finds a stray for us to deal with to break up the monotony of our training routine, Naruto says as they walk the final little stretch by to their house. They each head straight to their rooms, after saying goodnight to each other. Naruto, after a quick shower, hops in bed and instantly falls asleep. Ring ring. Naruto wakes up to the buzzing of his phone. On the screen he sees that it is 3 AM, and he is immediately annoyed. Who the hell would call him at a time like this? Answering, he says hello. Oi Naruto, it's Azazel. I was catching up on paperwork, and I came across a report from one of my subordinates. He said that you were hunting fallen angels and strays in Europe, is that true? Yeah. Don't worry, I made sure they were all terrible people, before I killed them. That dog guy was one of yours. Yeah, he is. Listen Naruto, you seem like a nice guy and are more importantly the author of my favorite novel series, so I am going to let all that slide with just a warning. Don't kill any more fallen, Azazel says seriously. Make sure they don't do anything bad, you know, like murdering and raping, and I won't. Easy solution, Naruto says with an eye roll. He can't turn a blind eye to it when he sees it happen. I am serious, Naruto. You don't have the right. And you don't have the authority to tell me what to do. You may have 2 favors from me, but I will not stand by and let such a thing happen when I see it. Don't make me have to label you as an enemy, Naruto. I don't want to, but as the governor of the Grigori I will if you don't stop what you are doing right now. Go ahead Azazel, but I will give you 2 warnings. Anyone you send after me will die. But if you send anyone after one of my students, I will wipe out the Grigori. Mark my words, Naruto growls out. Listen, why don't we take a step back, huh? How about I give you missions from the Grigori to either capture or kill rogue fallen? Like an independent contractor. This way everyone can be happy, Azazel states calmly. The blonde didn't sound like he was lying when he said he would wipe out the Grigori, and Azazel doesn't want to take a chance with a powerful unknown. Plus, he wouldn't get pre-releases of the Icha Icha novels anymore. Icha Icha Beyond Death is coming out soon too. You're right, sorry. Yes, I can do that as long as we get paid. You can send the details over text and I'll respond if I will take it, Naruto says. Alright. Still got those 2 favors, right? Yeah, Iro Tenshi, though if you call me in the middle of the night again not asking for one, you will have to use one to prevent me from kicking your ass, Naruto grumbles, and hangs up to Azazel's laughter. He lays back in bed and lets his dreams take him. Alright you two, watch closely, Naruto says as he holds out his hand, which is holding a balloon full of water. The balloon suddenly is being stretched out at many different points until it pops. Making the balloon pop like that using the water is the first step to mastering the Rasengan. I won't give you any help in figuring out how to do it, because I didn't receive any either, Naruto says with a cheeky grin, causing the two to pout. I am honestly not sure if this will work with demonic magic, but we can try it, Naruto says and hands them their balloons. Ravel and Volley take them each, getting a competitive glint in their eye as they look at each other. Each want to show Naruto that they are the best student. The three of them sit around in a loose circle, each trying their hardest to pop the balloon. It only takes Naruto 15 minutes before he is able to pop it, getting a wide smile on his face. Devil magic is based on the imagination, so since he knows exactly what the process is and how to do it, it is pretty easy. He pulls out a rubber ball for himself and starts the second part. Another 15 minutes later, he is able to completely pop the rubber ball. He went through several that popped on one side, but again he managed to do it fairly easy. Meanwhile, Volley and Ravel are becoming frustrated that they can't pop a stupid balloon when their sensei has already moved on to the last stage. They both redouble their efforts and pour even more magic into their balloons to no avail. The final stage, forming in within a balloon without breaking it, takes Naruto about an hour to complete, but he finally does it. He creates the demonic Rasengan and is absolutely giddy about it being orange. Yada. I did it within 2 hours, he yells as he jumps up in excitement. He gets 2 glares from his students, but he just winks at them. He goes over to a tree and uses it, destroying the tree to test it out. It seems it's the same results as the fire magic. The control is easier, but it takes more magic compared to chakra to make, and it is slightly weaker. Ah well, I will just pump more magic into it, Naruto thinks to himself. He looks at his 2 students with a victorious grin. Don't feel bad. I already know how to do it after all. Until you two master the Rasengan, this will be all that you are doing, and you aren't allowed into the house either. Think of it as incentive. Hope you remember how to hunt Ravel-chan. Come get me for instructions on the next step. Also, no helping the other. This is meant for you to learn it yourself. It will mean more that way. See you soon, Naruto says before he shunsons away. I am going to win, Volley and Ravel says to each other with a glare, before chuckling and focusing in on their respective balloons. Freya is confused. Her darling is in the kitchen making food for the 2 of them, as he often does, but his 2 students that always hang off of him aren't there as well. She dislikes the silver-haired girl who constantly takes shots at her, trying to make her look bad to Naruto. She supposes that they are warranted, however, as she did try to take him away from her. The Phoenix girl, Ravel if she remembers correctly, is much more pleasant as she always treats her with respect. Darling, where are your 2 students? They are usually inseparable from you, Freya asks with a tilt of her head as he enters the room with their food. They're trying to complete one of my signature attacks and aren't allowed in the house, nor will I teach them anything else until they do so, Naruto says with a grin. It's been 2 days so far and neither has gotten it. I have watched them struggle, curse me, and do other things to take their mind off of the problem, but they haven't gotten it yet. Freya raises an eyebrow. What's this attack that they are working so hard for? Naruto shows her a blue swirling sphere in his hand. This is the Rasengan, something my dad created. His teacher taught it to me, and I am now trying to teach them. This one is made using my chakra, while this one, he says holding his other hand open and an orange Rasengan appears, is my demonic Rasengan. This is the one they are trying to create. Freya frowns. Is it? I mean, it doesn't feel that strong, she says. Boy. That's because you are a big shot high-level goddess. It probably won't do much to you. This is just the first stage of the attack. The stronger versions would most assuredly hurt, if not kill you, Naruto says seriously. Freya's eyes widen. This little sphere's stronger versions can kill her. I guess there is more to this than it looks, she thinks to herself as Naruto lets the energy disperse. They make small talk with Naruto telling her what he is working on, his conversation with Azazel, and a story or 2. She in return tells him of her realm in Yggdrasil, and how she is trying to get more time off from her godly duties. Soon they finish the meal and Naruto starts clearing the table. You know, Faye-chan, this was really nice. Usually you just come over for sex and then leave, but I enjoyed it. Hopefully we can do something like it again in the future, Naruto says, giving her the warmest smile she has ever received from him. Freya is a little shocked. Her darling liked this type of thing. He seems much more interested in something like this than just sex. But isn't sex the fastest way to get a man to fall in love with you? What does he really think about her and their relationship? No, Naruto-kun, Freya says, getting a questioning hum from the blonde. What do you exactly think we are? And what do you think about me? Naruto furrows his brow as he looks back at her from the kitchen as he does the dishes. What are we? Well, I think we are like friends with benefits or fuck buddies if you want to use the colloquial terms. As for you, well, I think you are a very whimsical and beautiful goddess. I don't really know you all that well though, just rumors and your legends from Norse mythology, he says as he raises an eyebrow. Why do you ask? Freya felt like she just received a punch in the gut from Thor himself. Fuck buddies. That's what he thought this was. She wanted to scream curses to the All-Father right now. Freya thought back to all her past experiences with the blonde, and they indeed revolve around them having sex. He would always tell her little about himself, whether through a story or his general outlook on life, but she never did the same. She did indeed leave soon after sex, usually to go back to Yggdrasil. She also had never had sat down and just spent time with him alone like she just did. It was always in the company of his students, and she would seduce him to the bedroom straight away. Had they actually ever been on a date? Actually, when was the last time she was ever on a date? She can't remember. All she can remember is being in bed with whoever catches her interest. Freya? Naruto asks, a little concern in his tone. He can feel a lot of sadness coming from her. She snaps out of her thoughts and gives Naruto a fake smile. Oh, sorry darling. It seems I was spaced out there for a moment. Actually, I think I am going to leave for the night now. Sorry, she says in her usual tone, but Naruto can tell she is still feeling sad. Are you okay? He asks, getting a nod of her head. You sure? He asks again, not believing her. Yup. Again, sorry for leaving so early without, well, you know. Freya says, trailing off at the end. Don't be. I enjoyed myself. Take care, Naruto says with a friendly smile. Freya walks out of the house and teleports herself back to Yggdrasil. She has a lot of thinking to do. I am half surprised that you didn't force her to stay until she told you her problem, Kurama scoffs. Me when I was 16. Yeah, I would have. Being here in this dimension, turning into a devil, and teaching my precious students has changed me. If people I know ask for help, I will gladly give it, but I can't always solve their problems. Besides, why should I have to anyway? It's not my responsibility. Maybe it's my devil side talking, but you can't help those that don't help themselves, Naruto responds. Wow kid, you actually matured. Congratulations, Kurama huffs out. Shut up you stupid fox. What are you even doing up anyway? Well, I was going to watch you fuck that beautiful goddess, but since that isn't happening I am going to sleep again, Kurama says, and he curls up into a ball. You perverted fuzzball. Naruto yells in his mind and cuts the connection. Why is he always surrounded by perverts? Does Kami-sama enjoy messing with him? The door swinging open and the pitter-patter of feet running interrupts his thoughts. Naruto-sensei, Ravel yells as she tackles him in a hug. I did it. Naruto looks down at his student, who looks pretty dirty and her hair is messed up with some leaves and twigs in it, but otherwise okay, with a smile. Good job, Ravel-chan. You even beat my record of 3 days for the first step. I am very proud of you, Naruto says as he rubs her head, getting a pleased hum from the little girl. Now get out of the house. You still have 2 more steps after all, Naruto says with a teasing grin. A groan escapes from Ravel's mouth, but she complies and waits by the front door. Naruto appears behind her, holding a huge bag of rubber balls. Then another behind him. And another. Let's go and get volley for this too. This way I don't have to explain it twice, Naruto says as they walk out toward the camper and volley made. They find her sitting down staring at the balloon so intently Naruto half thinks it will blow up at any second. When she sees Naruto with Ravel, her shoulders drop, and she has a pout on her face. I am sorry this is taking me so long, sensei, she states sadly. Volley-chan, it's been 2 days. It took me 3 when I first learned this. You are doing fine, Naruto assures her. He pulls out a rubber ball and places it in his hand. Now this is basically the same principle as the balloon, except it's harder. You have to pop the whole thing at once, not create a hole in the side, he says as he demonstrates. The rubber ball completely bursts into tiny pieces. His clones put the 2 bags on the ground and disperse. There are plenty of rubber balls here, but if you go through them all, let me know, and I will get more for you, Naruto says with a wave before he walks away. Ravel grabs one of them and sets to work, intent to conquer this stage too. It's one small step closer to the man they love. Thanks for listening. I do hope you enjoyed. If you want a next part of this video, like, subscribe, and comment down below, and turn on that bell notification, and also check out the other videos that I have created, and enjoy. See you in the next video. Peace.